Good evening, bandits. What do we do when we open up at all-time highs in NVIDIA and the market's gapped up? We short the crap out of it, make our money in a few minutes, and we are done. Let's take a look at the morning and see how we did. Hey, you guys know it. Just making money, 15 minutes work day, not a bad 30-minute work day, especially when I had the kids by myself and I'm a little under the weather. Seems to be the story of my life right now. But for those of you guys who don't know, I'm Gator and run a Discord room, a few other things. New to Twitter, just hop on there if you guys want to give us a follow. I post the stuff that I do in Discord. I also post it to Twitter, and I'll start doing a lot more stuff over there pretty soon. So I do appreciate any support there. And if you're hanging out, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that kind of stuff on these videos. It does help. The algorithms help me want to continue to do this kind of stuff. So I appreciate your guys' support. All right, take a look at this. And every day I post ideas. Here are the ideas from this morning. Here's what we were looking at. NVIDIA gapped up big. I'm looking for, well, first you kind of see what I'm saying here. A nice big gap up day. Let's see if we can catch some fades. When I say fade, if you haven't watched my instructional videos on intro to trading, I'm looking for the name to come back in to the starting point, and I'll point that out. It could be very hard open, so please trade smart. Big gap days can be difficult. Thankfully today wasn't, but a lot of days can be difficult. So NVIDIA gapping up big, look for 50% fib retracement. Then I'll play the chart pattern that sets up. If it holds 500, meaning the price, and pushes up at the open, I'll look for a move into 510, 515, and then a shooting star or higher low and take it short. So the plan was to watch that out of the gate, and I was looking to short this. I had orders at 500 and 599. I actually got some slippage and got filled around 40 or 98 just as it started going down. Not surprising, and that's fine. But shorted at the open through 500, and was never red on that trade. So the plan straight up, just look for that instant fade. If I was wrong at the open, I would have gotten stopped out for a little bit of a loss, but I was pretty confident that I would be able to play this one. So I don't always recommend doing that, but I thought this was going to sell off, so I had orders in at the open and got filled. Thankfully, we came in, we consolidated at 490. For those of you who haven't watched any of the videos on fibs and stuff, you could see roughly there's your your kind of open to close, or your opening print to the closing print yesterday. And we pretty much came right into the 38% at the open, consolidated, broke down, and that 50% hit. So we hit target. I actually started getting out on these candles, and I called it. So I'm getting out around like, I don't remember, somewhere down here around $85 and stuff. I started selling and sold some, and then sold a little bit more. I didn't catch the move all the way into the 21. I think I had to go put my daughter to bed right here. So I started selling on this candle at the 38% retracement, but we caught a nice move, 83, so got filled around $98 all the way down to 83. That's a pretty good, for under 30 minutes of work, that's a pretty good open. So it worked. We consolidated up, or popped back up, failed to get above the last breakdown, and then we continued lower. Faded down. I was pretty much done. I did a few more trades, called out a few things, but I was pretty much done a few minutes in. Again, not feeling great as far as head congestion, and then I had the kids by myself, for the wife went shopping today. So there's nothing wrong with a 30-minute workday, I'll tell you though. Tesla. This was not the next name we had on the list, so we'll come back to this one. This is just the one I traded. So we will actually take a look at it, and then we'll jump back to the other one. So Tesla, 438 needs to hold early. If you could see it here, 438 needs to hold early if this is going to bounce. If we do hold up and look for yesterday's high, then 248 and 250 if we're strong. If we break down, it'll probably be hard to trade, but you should get a move into 233. Now, the hard to trade part was wrong, because it was not hard to trade. but the instant, just because of the way it broke down here. And so when you're looking at this and you're, obviously, you could zoom out, and this is perfectly clear on why or a reason to short this. I mean, just look at that. Once you see this nice shooting star here, jump to the 2-minute, or just nice just sell off candle, or piercing reversal candle. You buy the 2-minute breakdown. If you watch the videos on, strategies and stuff, 2-minute breakdown, right through the 200, right through the level, all the way to 33, all the way down to 33. So as far as an instant target, we hit it. And then if you're talking about consolidation, a little bit of pop, a little bit of a pop, few candle digestion, and then we start rolling over. I talked about it short. I missed the initial short here. 10 o'clock, I was like running in and out. This was with my daughter when I was putting her down. Missed this and ended up catching it here on this pop. And this is, I think, is really important, is this part here. You don't have to chase a lot of times if you miss. So I caught a lot of this, but if you miss the entry here like I did, you wait for another opportunity to get in, like this pop. So instead of chasing maybe down here or chasing a break, which is fine, but if you chase a break, you need to have a wide stop. So if I would have entered at the break at 30 to 38 or something like that, my stop needs to be up here at the top of the range, 34.18 or so, because you have to give it room to work. Otherwise, you would have stopped out. I waited for a green candle, and then when this candle actually popped up, when it started reversing and going back down through the lows is when I got into it, somewhere around 32.50. So not that there was a massive difference in what this is, this entry and this entry as far as profit. The difference is psychologically. I didn't think I was chasing, and I was happy with my entry when we got this 2-minute candle attempting to re-enter this breakdown, and then we rolled over and failed. And if you drew a fib, this is, I think I called this one out, and we talked through this trade live in the Discord, if you guys hang out there. I said 30.58, I think, or 30.64 was my target, was what I was looking for. I sold into that, and this was the last trade I ended up going. It did actually come into the 161 retracement, and if you want to think that, Fibonacci levels or whatever are just witchcraft, look at that. You have a perfect first leg, consolidation, 1, 2, beautiful. 161 always hits. You then look for it to retrace into the 200. We failed the 200 2 times and came back down. This was, I wish I would have traded more today just because of this. Once you hit the 161 and flagged here, I should have been here to call this one out, but that's fine. Great trade. The idea worked. The target hit, and those 2 names were the ones I traded today. Looking at the other names, and hopefully you can see why I liked this one at the open, why it was on the list, just because of where you're opening up at. And then once you reverse, and if you have that in your head and you know what you're looking for, and your plan says like, hey, look, we're opening up. We had a nice reversal here. In the past, here's yesterday's pivot high. If we can't get above that, short, And when you have this massive just engulfing candle and everything else is selling off, you look at the market and it's just red, there's no reason not to jump in this trade short. So, the most you could say is the 200, but at minimum you should short it into that. So there you go. As far as the reason for it, there's your reason. As far as the target, there you go. And kind of the same with NVIDIA, just your fibs, your gaps, and stuff like that. And for NVIDIA, the entry, for those who haven't watched the thing, if you didn't just enter in, your entry would have been here, probably. I usually do like when a candle takes out another one. So your entry probably would have been somewhere. This would have been a hard entry, but your entry would have been somewhere around $92, at least the way I trade. And your stop, this is just a wide stop, so you have to, your stop would have had to been somewhere up here. So you needed to take size according to that. That's okay. You take less size, so you have a 3-point stop, but you have a 10-point target roughly, or 7-point target. So you've got the risk reward there. Yeah, so that is what that is, but that worked out okay. I think Microsoft was the next name on our list that we'll do a quick review over. I didn't trade it, but just looking at the name and what we called out. If it can't get above 33.45 and hold, I'll look for it to fail and fade the gap, or fade the gap. I meant to put a period there. 331 is the first target, then the gap. If it catches a bid, look for 336. and then see how the price behaves. The reason I said 331 on this one is, so here, I'll jump back. Here is 331. The first candle hit that. A lot of these bars just engulfed at the open. So that's not really something unless you were just waiting for the short to buy in. I thought looking back that it opened up right on the hourly. I thought, and pre-market it was a little bit higher. So I thought you might get a little bit of a pop and a test and then a rollover, and 31 would have looked like a good, first target if you popped and shorted. I didn't short this one because I had two other names that were better, but obviously we hit 31, obviously we hit the gap, and we came all the way into an anchored VWAP at 21. If I really wanted to, you could say whatever you want to. I did not short it into that. I wasn't focusing on Microsoft, overly distracted, and played some other names, but that was fine. This was a good trade if you took this idea and this setup. The setup is a 2-minute breakdown. You got to 31. You failed to catch a bid at all. You should have been able to short that all the way into the 200 and all the way into the gap without much problem at all. There's your 3-bar digestion, red takes green, and then just follow through. This never caught a bid, so you could have rode this down, rode the 8. There's plenty of opportunities to take this short based on the different strategies that I use, I've done videos on, and all that kind of stuff. So good setup there. I think it was a good look, and worked out okay. Meta. Similar here to some of the other ones. Let's see. All right, 21 hit. Here we go. Let's take a look. What did I say in Meta? I'm going to see if we can hold 298.50 early. If we do, I'll look for a push in a 304. If we can't hold and we break down, I'll look for 294.50 and then 290 if the market is really weak. All these hit, so the market was really weak. Targets hit, obviously. They actually came down a little bit lower, more than I thought they would. So what I was looking at was 298.50, 298.50. Let's jump back to the hourly from yesterday. What I'm looking at here is roughly the top of. We were in the pre-market. We were above these levels. So in the Zoom call, I talked about this one. You were right above R1, which key pivot lines here in the past. That's also the 127 fib of this move, digestion, and break into it. So in order to get, and then you kind of flagged here and pushed. So what this could have looked like was a little bit of a drop, a spring into the 2-minute 200 and the 161 was the idea of this move into 304 to the long side if it held. It obviously did not. We just sold off, with the market, and now this looks like a completely different pattern. Up, a little reversal, and now bear flagging. This looks really weak. So that was the idea with the name, was the possibility of getting that set up. It actually held up better than a lot of names. I think that on this drop, and when this started doing this, if the market would have reversed, Meta probably would have gone. It didn't. It tried again. Shorts, obviously came in, and everything came down. The first target, 294.50, I said was my first target on a short. Right out the gate, it came right down to it, 294.30, and then we bounced. We came up and failed to get higher, failed to get back above 98.50, whatever I said, and we couldn't hold that, so that would be a second short. Again, I wasn't focused on this name. You came back down. We came all the way in, and we tagged 290, and actually below we tagged 297. So we far outdid the ATR on the name today. So great looking that short. It wasn't it was fine early as far as to target. It worked. The level was correct. I had that. So that was the idea for the name. That's why I took that name. That's why I posted that name, even though I didn't trade it. Just limited amount that I could trade today. The other name was a possibility in case we get a pop, was Google. I had this drawn out like this. And this was basically just looking for this level to hold up and catch a bid or fail, using the kind of fib of this gap, kind of a downward channel here. We broke it. We were testing higher. I thought if you caught a bid, we could catch a good move, and if you reversed, you would go down to $29 is what I said. We did not quite hit $29. We hit $29.50, but we did reverse. We chopped around, bear flagged, and went down. If you want to read Google, I didn't trade it. This was one I was more focused on. If we broke out, it obviously came down and worked to the 29. So if you look at what I said there, if it holds at the open 33, I think you could see 37 if the market runs. And if we break down, I personally was not going to play it, so I said I wasn't going to play it, but you would see $29. And by the end of the day, we were in the $29 range, 50 cents or so off from actual target. I was looking for the gap fill. Didn't quite get there, but the idea was solid. If you guys played this and this was a name that you liked more than some of the other more aggressive names, hopefully I gave you good direction. So that's what we were looking at. That's what we did. That's how we played it. Those were the ideas, the reasons I took it. I hope that some of you guys made money on it. I hope that it worked, and that you found some success. That you found some success trading this, or at least one or two of the ideas that I gave. If you did, you can leave this video a like. Let me know that you did. If I didn't, let me know if there's something I can do a little bit better as far as the call outs, or as far as even beyond the callouts, just posting more information in these videos that can help you kind of get in it. But I really encourage you to spend time trying to do this yourself. Look at the charts and try to say, if this, then this. Flow chart the thing. If this, then this. If this, then this. What that is going to allow you to do is it's going to allow you to start seeing where you're right, where you're wrong, when your levels are coming in, if you shorted, what setups were there, if you shorted the 2-minute bar and you put a stop, where does your risk reward need to be, what does your size need to be in each one of these names to make the money that you want to make, and you can start building a trading plan around that. But I highly, highly recommend you do something like this before the market opens. It is very important, I think, for your storytelling abilities. When you're sitting back and looking at a chart, instead of just being like, I don't know what's going on, I don't know what's going to happen, what could happen here, why could this happen, why could that happen, and you can start putting these things together, getting better at it, and it's going to help your trading. So do it, try it, just watch me do it, but then you're relying on me. You should learn to be independent as a trader, and independent but with other people. It's great to have a community. We do have a community, do have a Discord. I believe the link will be in the description of this video. The link to my Twitter will also be in the description of this video. Would appreciate a follow. If you want to come hang out and chill with me in Discord during the day, you're more than welcome to. It's free. And so it's Twitter. You can hang out there, tweet at me, chat, retweet things if you take the stuff and make money. I appreciate you guys. You're the best. I'm going to go get some rest, and I will see you all tomorrow morning. Cheers, bandits.